Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings.
Well, hello everybody. I do apologise for a little bit of absence. Those of you that follow me on Twitter know that I have been fighting a very nasty tummy bug for the past week. Today is the first day that I have managed to scrape myself off the bathroom floor. There's lots of nasty bugs going around at the moment. I'm not quite going to be bouncing all over the place to my normal bouncy way, mainly because I've pulled all of my, well, it feels like my ribs. But yeah, just to say, it's been a rather unpleasant week. I can't really tell you anything exciting that I've been up to or post. Well, I could post a picture here of Chia, who has been my nursemaid in bed with me most days. So yes, nothing actually to report other than getting back to reporting on the royals. So there's been lots of stuff that I've obviously naturally missed out in the news. It always happens, doesn't it? So I'm going to do my best to catch up. This particular video is obviously about Meghan's victory. If we can really call it a victory though. I know lots of people have been up in arms over this. I did briefly look on social media and people are very upset at the outcome. I'm not surprised at all. I didn't think that the Daily Mail or A&L would actually be able to get this to go to trial. Do I think that's wrong? Yes. Do I think it's a miscarriage of justice? Yes, but it is down to legal loopholes. So the Court of Appeal upheld the judge's decision that the Duchess had a reasonable expectation of privacy in the contents of the letter. The articles in the Mail on Sunday interfered with the Duchess's reasonable expectation of privacy and were not a justified proportionate means of correcting inaccuracies about the letter. To her father, obviously. Basically, they printed too much of the letter. This is the only technicality, and it is a technicality that she has won on. And it didn't matter that an appeal was going through. This was always going to be what got her through, otherwise known as a legal loophole. Obviously, when you are rich, you have status, you are celebrity. We seem to come across quite a lot of these court cases where if it was you and I that were in the courts, I'm sure the outcome would be completely different. So what with the unsurprising outcome for me, I decided to look back at Meghan's previous statement when she won initially back in February this year. So in Meghan's statement, for these outlets, it's a game. For me, it's real life, real relationships and very real sadness. The damage they have done and continue to do runs deep. We all lose when misinformation sells more than truth, when moral exploitation sells more than decency, and when companies create their business model to profit from people's pain. Hold up here. Yeah, she was talking about A&L in that distinctly, obviously the Mail on Sunday. But when you think of what she's saying to talk about mistruths, moral exploitation, I'd like to bring in them all of the mistruths that they told on Oprah, which is absolutely astronomical, the amount of that has been proven to be lies. Moral exploitation. Harry, he is literally selling his mother's memory every available opportunity. No matter what the subject is, he manages to bring in unseen pictures of Diana, or he's talking about his mother. More recently, he has done another, oh God, I think it was a UN supported speech. I didn't even see really what he released it on, but it was to do with how the pandemic that we'd have all been going through is exactly the same as HIV, and it's all to do with corporate greed. Honestly, Harry, it's sometimes better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt again and again and again. What a comparison. But it was a way to bring HIV into it, to bring in his mother's work. For Meghan to even be saying about the lack of decency, that when people create their business model to profit from people's pain. Hang on a minute, what does she think Archwell is? Archwell, they created that business model for Delaware because they can get away with all tax dodges. They also don't have to, release extensive accounts to show where their money goes in, where it goes out. There's a reason why certain companies use, the Cayman Islands and Delaware. It's because they can hide and shove stuff around. So there's no real transparency with them. And as for them talking about the corporate greed with Harry, his little speech, and then again going back to this first statement, you've got to think anytime that there is a worldwide tragedy that's going on, Harry and Meghan, they're straight away asking for donations and funds to come into Archewell so they can then push that money into these causes. So I'm sorry, the fact that they only have to give 5% of donations and keep 95% of themselves to no doubt pay all of their expensive staff salaries, it's a little bit rich to be talking about companies that profiteer off other people's suffering. So you'd think with everything that came out with Oprah, all of the lies, the fact that the appeal, Meghan's had to apologise to lying quite a lot to the court. I mean, pretty humiliating, really, when you think about the stuff that has come out since this appeal started. Meghan can call it a victory as much as she wants, but it's not done her credibility any good. But you would think with her new statement, the second victory as it were, she might tone it down a little bit of humility. No, none whatsoever. This is a victory not just for me, but for anyone who ever felt scared to stand up for what is right. Calm down, Churchill. You're hardly standing up like a freedom fighter, are you? What have you actually done that justifies you saying that you are standing up for the rest of the world over a copyright case where you vilified your father, set it all up, and pretty much tried to turn the worldwide press, media, and your fan base against your 70-year-old dad? It's not exactly a victory or a win, I'd say, for all of us. Whilst people can say, oh, the court case is about, Meghan proving what's true and what's justified, you've got to think Thomas Markle was the recipient of this letter. All of the awful things that she put in that letter have been proven to be completely written in a way to manipulate people, to get us to feel sorry for her. She went on, the longer that it dragged out, the more they could twist facts and manipulate the public, a model that rewards chaos above truth. You're talking about manipulating the public. We found out from her own words that she changed the letter to make sure it said Dear Daddy, so when it was released, it would play on the public's heartstrings. Jason Knuff actually even had to remind her to mention about the fact that her father had had a heart attack. And she said that she'd have to rewrite the page to make sure that she could squeeze it in to her heartfelt, deeply emotional, private 5-page front and back, yes, Ross and Rachel quote there, letter to her dearest daddy. I think she means the longer that the appeal went on, the more truths that were being uncovered about how much Meghan and Harry have lied. They lied to the media, they lied to the public, they no doubt lied to the royal family. Meghan lied to a judge, for which she has had to apologise. Whilst people are upset at the outcome of this has completely destroyed any credibility. I mean, Oprah pretty much damaged that anyway when all of the mistruths came out from that. But this is pretty huge. It goes to show that Meghan will lie to anyone to such extremes, Harry included in this. When I think about this letter, she could have sent an encrypted email. She could have got someone to actually hand deliver the letter to her father to ensure that it got torn up or something at the time. If she insisted, why write a letter in this day and age? Why not treat him like a human being and actually give him a phone call? He wouldn't have been able to record anything. Sod it, get someone from the embassy to go to his home in Mexico, hold a phone to his ear so you can be sure that nothing was being recorded. Or even better, the fact that it's your father, get on a plane and go see him and speak to him face to face. But she didn't do that. She wrote a letter. A long-winded, very detailed, like a script for a stage play, letter. And that you don't need a court case for. I don't care what the judges say. It's really obvious that she did that letter for it to be made public. And when dearest daddy didn't make it public, she poked the bear with a stick and got her friends to go to People magazine. Thomas Markle had every right to defend himself. Maybe it would have been better for Thomas to have actually done, I don't know, maybe another Piers Morgan GMB morning TV show where he actually spoke about the letter himself. Maybe Thomas Markle was badly advised, but Thomas Markle's not the one that was on trial here. Again, I say, despite the outcome of Meghan's victory, we've also learned not just that she did speak with the authors of Finding Freedom, and Harry and Meghan did actually secretly approve it, which everyone with a brain cell knew, we've seen pages upon pages of detailed information that Meghan actually gave the authors. This has removed any doubt that she might have just silently approved it or got a friend to make sure it was all positive. She practically wrote the book, and Harry himself in text messages is saying, yes, the public can't find out about that. So how the hell can they talk about newspapers manipulating the public? They have clearly, time and time again, manipulated the public so they could promote this constant victim narrative when it turns out they're not exactly the innocent party themselves. But the final cherry on the cake for me, and after she thanks her family, her crowd, her agent like she's accepting an Oscar, is her talking about how it could happen to any one of us. Because as far removed as it may seem from your personal life, it's not. Tomorrow, it could be you. Who is she to say to the rest of us, to us general plebs, us public, us normal human beings out there, to turn around and say to us, this may seem removed from your life, but it's not. I think I'll be the judge of that, sweetheart. Dearest Meghan, I can tell you many reasons why this would never happen to me, and it's not relatable to me in the slightest. I would never treat my father or my in-laws or any members of my family so disgracefully, or go onto a TV programme, be paid millions and lie about them. I'd never write a 5-page letter of such a personal nature and share it to all and sundry, have people make sure that they proofread it. Is there enough emotion in there? Will this play on people's heartstrings? To actually be reminded that my father had had a heart attack and to put that in there. I would also, no matter how bad the fallout it was with a family member or a friend, make it my mission to destroy that person, to continuously play the victim, to keep throwing out accusation after accusation after accusation, and expect people to think that I'm a victim. Another thing that I would never, ever, ever do is lie to a judge, lie to a court. I would never do that. Hopefully I never see myself in a situation where I am in front of a judge and I have the opportunity to lie to a court. But I think now, as many people will, if they are in that situation, I think there should be a public outcry where we all say, sorry, Your Honour, I forgot. But that being said, if this was me in the court and in front of a judge and I got found out that I had lied to such an extensive amount, I mean pages and pages, emails, text messages, I'd not just manipulated the judge but the public just to get this big old victim narrative up, I'm pretty sure prosecution would actually get their chance for it to go to trial, to call in witnesses if there were witnesses involved. Also pretty sure I'd find myself quickly on extra charges of perjury. This is twice Meghan has been granted what is known as a summary judgment. They are surprisingly very rare and not handed out often. So you've got to wonder why. Why was Meghan Markle given a summary judgment? I'll tell you why. Rich people, money, celebrity, status, they get treated differently to us. Politicians, grimy footballers. I mean, these people can get an injunction so the media can't even report on their dirty doings despite raking in millions from having a clean family image. People are upset at the outcome of this because everything that has come out, all of the lies that have been proven, the fact that Meghan has completely lied about finding freedom, she lied to the judge, and it just seems yet again there is another rich person that just seems to get away with it. My mum always used to say to me, the devil looks out for his own, and there is very much an element of that, and people wanted to see something happen with Meghan, whereas she was actually punished or told off or a slap on the wrist for the simple fact she had lied to a court. She has lied about so many things, and people have had enough of politicians, of rich people, of people, even members of the royal family seemingly getting away scot-free and then gloating about it. But the problem that you've got is The summary judgment was granted this time because they are saying that the first summary judgment was correct. Whilst we have had all of this information given to us and all of the stuff has been outed about Meghan, the judges were there to decide, did Justice Warby act fairly at the time with the evidence given? It doesn't matter the evidence that was presented after the fact. If Jason Knuff and all of those other people had actually pulled their thumb out and got involved at the time, it might be different. But annoyingly, they didn't. So it does mean that the judges are literally just deciding whether he acted correctly. And at the time, with the evidence that he had, that's not changed. But I do have my suspicions here with A&L, with the Mail on Sunday. They would know this. They would know that they're not really going to get a trial if that's what the first judge decided, because they would also have a team of lawyers that would say, Justice Warby did not have that evidence at the time, it might have been a different story. But look what A&L, the Mail on Sunday and the Daily Mail have been able to do by taking it to appeal. They have been able to release all of the incriminating evidence. And whilst Meghan might think she's got a victory, it's destroyed her even more than what finding out all the lies she did on Oprah. It's removed any sort of doubt about how much she has been involved, lied, manipulated, and how cold she really is towards her family and her father. There's talks that A&L are not going to take it lying down, that they are also going to maybe take it to the Supreme Court. This is the final to see if they can get a trial. Even if they do not get a trial granted at the Supreme Court and they have to pay another load of fees, let's be honest with you, they've got more millions in the bank than what Meghan and Harry could ever dream of. But if they do another appeal, a super appeal, it does give them more time, as Meghan says, to twist mistruths and manipulate the public. Or for you and me, that means dig up more dirt and find out more on Meghan and how much she's been lying. I, like many other people, think it's the tip of the iceberg. So if A&L are allowed to keep on digging, I say bring on the Supreme Court. We may not get the outcome that we want with Meghan being carted off in chains over a letter to her dad. Get real, people. I mean, she's not on trial for murder. She has done something that is conniving, that is manipulating, but she's not the devil incarnate. She hasn't drowned puppies. She has lied and she has been caught out. I say that that is a massive win. She can dress up her little statement. She can literally fill it with as much word salad about how she's victorious and she's done it for the world. She's done it for us. She's done it against the battle of the worldwide media. It was one newspaper, darling. Calm down. She can write as big an imperious, gloating, victorious, golden boss, royal monogram statement as she pleases. All it shows is 1, no humility whatsoever, 2, grandiose narcissism. There is never more a perfect example than what Meghan Markle is. The fact that she has literally not taken anything that's been found out about her, all the lies that have come out, and she's thought, maybe I'll just do a little statement that my first statement still stands. It's a small victory. No, we have the fact that Meghan is going to change the tabloid. She's going to change the world. She's going to change the media. Meghan, you can change as much as you want, honey, but you're never going to change what the public think of you now. So anyway, guys, I got through that video. Let's hope I get it out to you same day. And I'm now going to go have a lemon sip and I will be back with you guys really soon. My next video that I will be doing is Harry's silence, because as much as that boy has been vocal and singing like a canary about his mistreatment in his life, he's decided to stay silent on some things that are really, really damaging to his family. And it's definitely worth a talk about. So I will be back with you guys as soon as possible. Take care for now, guys. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typist, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.